Afternoon to all. As Rajashmi said, today we are going to learn about the practical session on lymphedema. Sridevi is here. All of you know Sridevi. She was our last week faculty. So we can go the practical training. First, we can go the practical, the same slide we discussed last week. After that, she will be demonstrating the practical procedure. Okay, Sridevi, welcome and over to you.
Good afternoon. I think all of you know about the 4 principles of management. The first principle is skincare, and second one is massaging. Third one is bandaging. Fourth one is exercise. So we are demonstrating here from massaging and bandaging and exercises. So we will start with stimulation process. First, we have to before going to do stimulation, we have to assess the measurement of the lymphedema hand. First thing, this is the affected hand, means we have to check the both affected and unaffected hand measurements. So from the we have to identify head of ulna of the affected hand. The head of ulna is this thing, and we have to identify the head of ulna. From head of ulna 2 centimeter above, we have to note the point and take the circumference of the this point. From this point, every 4 centimeter, we have to note it down, and we have to take the circumference of each and every point up to the shoulder. In case of lower limbs, we have to check the angle joint, and we have to take the 2 centimeter above point and take the circumference. Then again 4 centimeter above and to the groin region. That is the measurement in legs and arms. First, we have to identify the head of ulna. This is the protruded part seen in this area. We have to note it down and take 2 centimeter above from head of ulna and note the point with a permanent marker. From this point, every 4 centimeters. Up to the shoulder. And we have a lymphedema measurement chart here. So we have to note it down in the this right and left columns according to the measurement.
This is our lymphedema measurement chart. We are maintaining here. So I will share this with you later. So when we take measurement, we should take the normal lymph and the affected lymph. So each visit we need to assess take the measurement. Then only we need to find out whether our treatment is good or not. So we need to take both limbs. If the patient is affecting the left side, maybe lower limbs, you can take the both lower limbs. Especially Sridevi said you can point out the ulna bone, and then from ulna the 2 centimeter plus 2 centimeter. Again, every 4 centimeter you should point it. You should mark it first, and then after that you have to take the circumference, and then you have to chart it. Okay, fine. Yes. Come to the management part.
After taking measurement, next we are going to do the stimulation. We already done the stimulation part and all. First we have to explain the procedure to the patient, what we are going to do, and remove the any ornaments are present in the affected hand. We have to remove the all ornaments or something. After that, we have to start with the stimulation behind the earlobe and breathing. Like this, we have to stimulate the all abdominal lymph nodes with a deep sleep, deep breathing. So we have to take deep breathing for 10 times. And slow exhalation. After that, we have to do the stimulation for the behind the earlobe with a semi-clockwise direction, or only clockwise or anti-clockwise direction, like this. We can use the fingers, even thumb or 2 fingers of the both hands. Like this, we have to do the stimulation. Only one direction. Don't use the circular movement in the circular movement for the stimulation process. So we have to do the only one direction. The stimulation is start with the moisturizing cream. We have to apply the moisturizing cream in our hand and apply it in on the stimulated parts, like behind the earlobe. Second one is in the tonsillar region. Here, both sides. This is the tonsillar side, and behind the earlobe is here. Like this, we have to stimulate the point. In case of the tonsillar region, here we have to do the clockwise or anti-clockwise direction, and supraclavicular, above the clavicle bone. We have to identify the clavicle bone. Above the clavicular bone, we have to do the stimulation process. Then unaffected axilla first. Here we have to take this is a affected hand, so we have to do the stimulation for the unaffected hand, like clockwise direction or anti-clockwise direction. We have to do the massaging with the violin, and after that we have to do the affected hand. Here we also do the massaging. In case of the lower legs also, we have to do the stimulation for this part. Along with this, we have to do the massaging in the groin region. Inguinal ring region, there are some sort of lymph nodes are available, so we have to do the stimulation in that area also. Next, we are going to do the massaging. Massaging, we start with the violin application only. From we have to do the massaging from the distal part to the proximal part. In case some of the patient is having so much of edema in the proximal part only, So we have to do the proximal part massaging first. That is here. Some of the patient having so much of edema in this area. So we have to do the massaging like this. And after that only we have to start from here. In unique edema is there, we have to do the massaging from the fingers. If the edema is in first stage, that is in a pitting stage, we are using like strokes. Simple strokes are enough for the massaging process. Simple stroke is like this for the first stages of edema. We have to do the simple strokes 2 to 3 times, 3 times in the every fingers. If the edema is in a third stage or second stage, it is hard. So we have to do the squeezing movements for the fingers. Like this. This is the squeezing movements for each fingers. The squeezing movements help us to soften the edema. First, we have to do the squeezing movements. After that, we have to do the simple strokes. In case of palm, we have to same like that only. If the edema is hard means we have to do like this. Circle, semicircular movements for hands. If the edema is soft means we have to do the stroking movements with our fingers or our palm. We have to apply simple pressure to that area. Don't use heavy pressure to that area because it will increases the drainage of lymph fluid. So we have to do the simple stroke movements. Here also we have to do simple strokes. Careful that if don't stop here and there, we have to start the movement, then it will stop up to the abdominal area like this. If we stop here means the edema will be accumulated, the fluid will be accumulated in this area and it will cause heavy edema in this area. So we have to start and stop with the long strokes like this. This part will be drained to this area and to the back of the abdomen. In case of in front of the this area, it will go up to the opposite axilla like this. This is the massaging process. So once more, in the hard edema is there, that is second or third stage, we have to use the squeezing movements and soften the edema, then long strokes like this. Here also same way, the hard edema is there, we have to use the circular movements. Don't use the rotation like this, use the circular, semicircular movements like this or here. And if it is softened means we have to use the simple long strokes. Once the massaging finished, we are going to do the bandaging. Next, we are going to do the bandaging. The bandaging also starts from the fingers. Before going to do the bandaging, if we have to apply the gauze padding for to avoid the irritation of the crepe bandage. This we are using the crepe bandages for the bandaging purpose. This is a elastic bandage. This is the 6 into 4 centimeter bandage. it is sometimes it will cause the allergic reaction to the skin. If it will cause the allergic reaction, further it will cause the lymphoria. So we have to avoid the irritation and allergy. We have to apply the simple gauze padding. It is a like pads only. In between the gauzes, we are apply the cotton padding. This is for using for the avoiding the skin irritation. So we have to apply this. If the patient is having so much edema in the fingers, we can apply this in the fingers also. For fixing these bandages or gauzes, we have to use the paper plaster for fixing the bandages or this gauze padding. Don't use the clips available with the crepe bandages because it will causes the puncture in the skin and it will causes the lymphoria. So don't use these clips for fixing the bandages. This is the finger bandage. So we have to apply the this is the finger bandage. It is already made with finger bandage tie. So sometimes we are not don't available this type of bandages. That time we have to purchase this 6 into 4 centimeter bandage and fold it out like this. There is a blue line mark is there in between the bandage. So we have to fold it out and make it as a finger bandage type like this. We have to roll it and we can use this like this. That time it will comes like this only. We can use the 6 into 4 centimeter bandage and fold it out and make it like this. We have to use this also for finger bandaging. So the bandaging is start with the wrist joint. First layer of bandage will be fix the bandage in place. So first rotation in the wrist area, then go to the fingers. While doing bandaging, we have to avoid to cover the finger nail buds. So if we are cover the nail buds, once the bandage become tight, we can't identify this. If the nail buds are available in outside, the color change will be, we can identify the tightness of bandage. So it will bandage will come to one side and go out from another side like this. finger bandages, we have to fix the bandages in the wrist. First, start from the wrist and end up with the wrist. The balance of the bandage will be tight in the wrist area. Fix it with the paper plaster in place and check out the this area. The palm will be visible for us. Don't the bandages do not cross it with these areas. It will the incorrect method of bandaging. So this is the correct method of bandaging. The palm is visible for us, and the layers will be like this. The layers will be in a same direction and same way, and don't too tight or too loose. If a patient is come with our side, the first time we have to do the stimulation and massaging for first 3 days. If the patient is tolerating, means we have to do the bandaging in 4th day onwards. First, 4th day we have to do the finger bandaging, and next bandage is with the spiral bandaging for the above the wrist. From in this spiral bandaging, we have to cover the 3/4 of the area of first bandage layer, like this. According to the size of the lymphedema hand, we have to choose the different sizes of crepe bandages. We are available with 6 into 4 centimeter, 8 into 4 centimeter, and 10 into 4 centimeter. Here I am choosing 6 into 4 centimeter. Remember that inside of in the place of the elbow joint, we have to use the figure of 8 bandage for fixing the bandage. Otherwise, it will loosen after every movement. If figure of 8 is easy to move the joints. So we have to use the figure of 8 in the joints in spiral bandage. This is the 8 into 4 centimeter bandage. So here onwards, we have to apply the 8 into 4 centimeter bandage. And fix the bandage here. This is the spiral bandage we are using. If the patient is tolerating the spiral bandage, we have to do the figure of 8 bandage. We have to change this spiral and practice with the figure of 8. While removing the bandage, we have to remove with the rolling and roll it and remove it. The bandages are using with the elasticity of the bandages will be lost with 3 to 4 days. We have to change the bandage after losing the elasticity. Yeah. This time we have to apply the figure of 8 for the whole hand. The figure of 8 will be give more pressure to that area. It will increases the drainage of the lymph fluid. This is also first fixing the bandage in the wrist joint and like a 8, like the figure of a 8, we have to go upward and downward. we can see the crosses in the same direction. We can identify this. This is the figure of 8. It's like a 8. It will give a more pressure to the hand and it increases the drainage of the lymph fluid. After finishing the bandages, we have to go for the exercises. For first, we have to divide this into 3 parts. One for the fingers and this for the elbow joint and for the shoulder. For fingers, we can start with the physio board, like squeezing movements for the fingers. After squeezing, we have to do the supination and pronation. We can check that if the patient is having less edema means we can do the supination easily. But the patient with so much of edema here means the supination and pronation is very difficult to perform. So we have to encourage them to do the supination and pronation exercises like this. And like this, we have to do the wrist joint. And external rotation and internal rotation. In case of elbow, we have to do the flexion and extension. According to the edema reduction, the exercise may be passive or active. In case of shoulder, we have to do the extension like this. And rotation. Other than that, we can tell them to do the wall climbing exercises and simple strokes. After applying the bandage, we have to do the massaging with these bandages. Above the bandage, we have to do the squeezing like this. It will reduces the tightness of the bandage. Once we are apply the bandage, we have to remove this bandage by if we are applying bandage in early morning means we have to do remove it by evening time or according to the patient comfort. We have to assess the comfort of the patient. If the patient is irritated with this bandage, we have to remove the bandage then and there. If the patient is comfortable with this, we can keep the bandage there for 24 hours. Sometimes patient will be irritable at night time while doing the sleeping. So that time some of the patient will remove and the other time patient will be keep it out up to the next day. The management part is finished. First, we have to identify that the edema is lymphedema or not. If the patient is sometimes we have confused with the lymphedema and cellulitis, we have to identify the features of the cellulitis. If the patient is having severe pain, fever, redness, and local rise of temperature is there, We have first inform to the duty doctor and start some medicines for that. So if the patient is having cellulitis means don't use the massaging and bandaging and start with the infection management, something that thank you all.
So thank you, Sridevi, for the practical demonstration of lymphedema management. I just highlight a few points. When we take the management, when we come to the management part, we need to take the measurement. Sridevi told you how to take the measurement from the ulna joint plus 2 centimeter. Then every 4 centimeter you should mark the points, and then you have to take the measurement of that part. Each points you have to take the measurement and chart the that findings. You should take both affected and unaffected limb for the measurement. So the next one is management part. There are four principles of management: skin care, massaging, bandaging, and exercise. Skin care, there are a lot of things we need to instruct the patients for the management of the skin care. Apply moisturizing cream for skin. Keep the skin clean and dry. They need to special attention, give special attention for the digits. Otherwise, that dirt will accumulate and it can cause fungal infection. Avoid injection or venipuncture. If there is a that puncture there, there is more chance to develop infection that can cause cellulitis also. Avoid rashes, avoid blood pressure cups also, and avoid injury. If there is an injury there, they can keep it clean and dry. If there is a signs and symptoms of infection there, they can go and see the doctor and take antibiotics for the same. And avoid carrying heavy things. If they are taking heavy things, what happens? So if they are applying more pressure on that area, if you apply more pressure on that area, that can cause more circulation. If the arterial circulation is increased, edema will be the increase. So better they should not take heavy things in their affected limb, and they should not take hot baths also. If they are taking hot baths, again the stimulation will be increasing. Again, edema, the chance of development of edema is there. The next thing is massaging. There are two different types of massage here: manual lymphatic drainage and simple lymphatic drainage. So manual lymphatic drainage is doing by the therapist, like us, nurses or a physiotherapist or a doctor. We are the person to train about that. We should learn very well about the lymphedema management. We know how the lymphatic system flows and all. So, but in our patients, we are not able to go in their home and do the massage daily. But that time we need to train the caregivers. Okay, so you can train the caregivers, or you can train the nearest volunteers also. If because of our training, they will get a small idea. Because of that, they will do some massage and bandaging. That is massaging that is called as simple lymphatic drainage. So one of the caregiver or a volunteers will be doing the massage is called as simple lymphatic drainage, but one of the trained persons will be doing that massage is manual lymphatic drainage. Okay. So when we do the massage, you can start with a deep diaphragmatic breathing. We have a lot of lymph nodes in our body, more than 600 to 700 nodes in our body. So all the lymph, when you take deep diaphragmatic breathing, what happened is all the lymph nodes will be stimulating. Without applying your pressure, all the internal lymph nodes will be stimulating. Okay. So after that, you have to stimulate the superficial lymph node. Okay. So you have to stimulate the superficial. You can see that picture. You can see there are a lot of that greenish color. There are a lot of lymph nodes. Okay, you can stimulate the superficial lymph nodes first. Okay, after that you can stimulate the unaffected nodes. Okay, so you have to stimulate. First, you have to explain the patient to take deep breathing exercises that will stimulate the all internal lymph nodes and external lymph nodes, and stimulate the superficial lymph nodes like behind the ear, submandibular region and supraclavicular node, and then you have to stimulate the unaffected axilla. If this hand is lymphedema, you have to stimulate the unaffected side first. Okay, we in case of lymphedema, there is no lymph node in the affected lymph. Okay, so no need to stimulate the affected side lymph node. There is no lymph node is there. Okay, so you have to stimulate the unaffected side first, and then massage from the proximal to distal. If the edema is similar, uniform, simple edema is there, you can do the long stroke. Okay, if edema is here, you have to that clear the congested part is first, and then move the non-congested area. Congested means the edematous area. Okay, so massage the proximal part first, and then go to the distal part. You have to clear the proximal part first, and then go to the distal part. Okay, when you give the massage, you can apply gentle pressure only. Okay, if you give more pressure on that area, it will stimulate circulation also. So if you increase the circulation, what happened again, edema will be formed. So this edema is a interstitial space only. You have to apply gentle pressure. Your small simple that pressure is enough to move the fluid from the that interstitial space. Okay, so next is bandaging. As Sridevi said, before that you have to apply that cotton roll that before applying the crepe bandage. After that you have to do the crepe bandaging. So finger, you can see there is a overlapping between the layers. Okay, so it will give more pressure on that area. It can cause that fluids will move freely. Okay, our idea behind that the bandaging is the fluid, the collecting fluids, the edematic fluids will need to go up. Okay, that is why we applying crepe bandages. That initially you can do the spiral bandages. When after that, if the patient is tolerating, you can move on to the figure of 8. That is multi-layer bandage. Okay, you can train the caregivers also. Then last one is exercise. Exercise, Sridev already shows you. One for fingers, one for wrist, one for elbow, one for shoulder. If possible, you can encourage the patient to do the exercise. If they are not able to do the exercise, you can help them to do the exercise. Otherwise, you can train the caregivers to help them to do the exercise. If you do after the bandaging, this is very, very important. If you do the exercise, the edematous fluid, the lymphatic fluids will goes up freely. Okay. This is the management of lymphedema. Okay. There are two complications we already discussed last week also. The complication. One is cellulitis. The second one is the lymphorrhea. If the cellulitis are there, we know there is pain will be there, red color will be there, swelling will be there, the warm will be there. So that times you have to refer the patient to the doctor and make sure whether the patient is taking antibiotics for the same. You should not apply crepe bandage for that time. Once the cellulitis become goes, then you can do the crepe bandage application. Okay. For the lymphoria management, we know what is lymphoria. I think all of you know, leaking out of fluid from the lymphedema site. That time the management will be, you can apply the Gamgee pad over the lymphoria site and apply crepe bandage so that all the excess fluid will come out freely. Okay. No contraindication for applying crepe bandage for lymphoria patients. Thank you. If you have any doubts, please ask. Any doubts? Anybody? Anybody is having any experience of applying stockings? Usually, some of the patients are wearing stockings for lymphedema management. Anybody have any experience? All of you, please put on your video. Please, will you sharing this video help studying balancing? Yes, we will share the video. Anybody have any doubts regarding the management of lymphedema? Do you have a lymphedema patients in your settings? No diet restrictions. When will you start the lymphedema management? Can anyone say, when will you start the lymphedema management? How time of the existence.
Frequency of.
So after the bandaging, you can anyway encourage the patient for the exercise. After that, it will be good to do exercise 3 times a day if they are able to do. Otherwise, if the caregivers are able to help them, you can encourage the caregivers at least 3 times a day. It will be good. So how to manage excessive oozing of lymphoria? Okay, so if there is a oozing out of fluid from the lymphedema site is there, you can apply Gamgee pad, the same dressing pad over the that lymphoria site, and then you can apply the same crepe bandage. If you apply the crepe bandage there, because of the pressure, that extra fluid will come out. Okay, that is the management of lymphoria. Any other questions? Okay, we can move on to the case presentation. Today, the patient story will be presenting by Sanobar. Sanobar, over to you.
Sanobar, can you unmute from your end and speak?
Okay, I'm Sanobar Aisha.
Sanobar, have you logged in from 2 devices? Can you log in from one only and log out from the other?
Can. Okay, can you all hear me?
There is an echo happening in between.
From Palliative Care Association from Johor Bahru, a state of Johor in Malaysia. So I have joined this association past 1 year ago. So today I'm presenting a case referred to my association for an assistance of oxygen support and best supportive care. So this patient also a case that I encountered during my first 6 months experience in palliative care. She was under my care for about 51 days, then she RIP. And since I'm mainly presenting this case because I've seen her with this edema, with her both lower legs, mild edema become worse, and then until lymphoria stage and worst stage. So total of my 11 home visits to this patient and 2 hospital visits until her end of life. So patient is metastatic right lung carcinoma, stage 4 with evidence of brain mets. She was presenting complaints with shortness of breath, talking and exertions, sleeping disturbance due to her cough, and low appetite, but able to take normal diet as she tolerated, unsteady walking gait, slight both lower limbs edematous, loss of weight, constipation, and history of insomnia For more than 20 years, she had this problem. And patient always in anxiousness. And she had very high hope to get the disease to get better from this disease. Next slide, please. History of illness is she had prolonged of cough for 5 months and she had frothy whitish flames, no relief with any medications. After she hopped on from one clinic to one clinic, she went to a few clinics and admitted to a hospital due to shortness of breath and treated and followed with repeated admissions and referred to palliative association for a best supportive care. On my first home visit, assessment done, history taking done, pain assessment, patient verbalized knee pain, 0/10, neurological assessment, 15/15, vital signs are stable, overall weakness, ECOG 3. Subsequently, follow-up home visits, patient on and off admitted to hospital, and in between the first daughter, we contacted the first daughter, and the first daughter came from Singapore and took care of this patient. So in between, I did home visits. In between, she admitted to the hospitals. Okay. So next. Treatment and significant investigation done. A series of investigation done on a few admissions to the hospital. So it's a routine blood investigations. Mantoux test negative. X-ray showed abnormalities. CT scan showed pleural and pericardial effusions. Tapping done. The fluid was sent for cytology and shows malignant cells. And patient also underwent lung biopsy, confirmed type of carcinoma cells. And repeated CT tap done shows right lower lung mass, bilateral lung nodules, and multiple abdominal lymph nodes, METs and pleural pericardial effusions, right adrenal METs too. Subsequently, CT brain done, evidence of brain mets also presented with unsteady gait and forgetfulness for a week. So initially, patient was started on TKI and planned for chemotherapy. Later, after discussion with the doctor about the stage and prognosis, they didn't continue the TKI and just opt to palliative care. Next. So psychosocially, patient is a non-smoker. She's an ex-teacher. She was living alone. So she's a divorcee, more than 20 years, and she brought up her 2 daughters by herself. So both daughters studied abroad and settled down abroad, not with her for many years. So first daughter was in Singapore, married with no child. Second daughter in Australia, married with 2 children. Then patient was very independent and always don't want to disturb her daughters, and she didn't inform much about her sickness in the early stage to them. Okay. Next. Okay, her medications are basically just syrup lactulose, 15 ml for her constipation, and tap bisacodyl, and tap Irisa, that is the TKI, and tap alprazolam for her long-term sleeping disturbance, insomnia, and tap furosemide, 40 milligram on day only. Next. So during my visits, I assisted her on how to reduce her edema, both legs, by compression stockings, elevation to the legs, resting, and dressing. After her edematous become lymphedema become lymphoria, started on dressing. And after that, when the doctors came in from Singapore, they brought the patient to hospital, hopped from one hospital to one hospital. And at last, when I saw the daughter, and then they also accept that patients at the end of the life, and her prognosis is very short, and her life expectancy, and patient also at last um, um, accepted she already at the end of her life. So at last I went 2 times to the hospital to visit her for her emotional support, and she RIP in the hospital. So the main concern is why all the treatments not working on her. Why edema not decreasing? Even the best treatments was given from one specialist hospital to one specialist hospital. And how these questions also been asked by the daughter to me, how long she will be suffering and why she has to go through all this. Okay. Next slide. So summary is a 66 years old lady diagnosed with metastatic right adenocarcinoma, presented with both lower limbs at first assessment, very mild edema. Disease has progressed very fast despite of all the treatments, intervention, multiple admissions to her symptom. In between her admissions, I have done a few home visits to support her, and she developed both whole leg lymphedema with lymphoria at the few points at the lower limb, and done all the dressing and well bandaged. When I last visit her at the private hospitals, all her 4 limbs grossly edematous. That was 2 days before her death. So patient has been brought to the private hospital by the daughters. Even the Australia daughter also came back. That's why they brought her back to another hospital. And after accepting patient is dying, they admitted her in one particular hospital for 15 days until end of her life. So patient's daughter claimed that they unable to cope with her nursing care. That's why they decided let her pass on in the hospital. Okay. So if I would care for this patient, point of discussion is how we can manage this patient and help this patient at home base, and how we can alleviate these patients' anxiousness and distress in the beginning about the edema. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sister Sanuba, for the presentation. If anybody have any more clarification regarding this patient story, please ask. Otherwise, we can move on to the discussion points. Sister Sanubar, I need a clarification. I have seen TKI. What is TKI?
This is a thyroxine kinase inhibitors.
Okay, thank you.
So she was not candidate for chemotherapy. So patients still want an active management for her disease because of a high hope. So doctor started on this TKI.
Okay.
This is targeted cell to inhibit the progression of the carcinomic cell.
Okay.
Okay.
Anybody need any more clarification? I think nobody's need any clarification regarding this patient story. I think we can move on to the discussion points. How can we manage and help this patient at home base? I think one of the participants can answer these questions. How can we manage? I think these patients, no caregiver in her home.
Yeah, she has, yes. She has no caregiver, only a maid, but she was a temporary maid. When the daughter came back, there was some misunderstanding maybe. So the maid was sent back. So they can't manage at all. And they send this patient to a private hospital until the end of life.
Okay. Any suggestions? Anybody? So we can, one suggestion from Vimlesh, we can encourage her daughter to stay with her one by one so that she can get help from her daughter. Okay.
Okay, what I did in the beginning was I asked her to call her Singapore daughter to come over. So she came over, she was with her for a week and she went back. Without knowing she's having a very short period in her lifetime only. And then also I told her to call her daughter from Australia. Then the daughter from Australia came down and she took a longer leave and she started to manage mother's health. Uh, that's how it goes. And then the daughter from Singapore also in between came in, relieve the Australia daughter until her end of life. So both daughters actually they are very they participated well, but then they can't manage in the house basis lah. They don't know. They doesn't want also because this is the setting like that, the psychosocial setting. They were away from the mother and then they come back and then suddenly mother was very ill. They straight away brought her to the hospital. That's all what we can do because they can. I had a feel that they can afford it, so they brought her to the hospital for best care as they claim.
Okay. Okay. There are some chats answers. Counseling and advice may help. Lift up limb with pillows to reduce edema. Counseling again, counseling.
Yes.
So, if my question is, if both daughters are not available, what will we
Yes.
do?
That will be very difficult. She will be just managing with her temporary maid maybe. There is no collision between the maid maybe. So I don't know. In between, the maid just went off. I
Okay, sister.
didn't ask much.
Okay, sister. We can
Okay.
take answer from the other participants also.
Okay.
Anybody? Any suggestions? If both daughters are not available. How we will going to help for this type of patients? At any home care nurse available, we can find the home care nurse. Okay. Otherwise,
Yes.
patient should be kept in hospital. Who will take care of the patient in the hospital? If there is a palliative care hospital there, okay, nurses will be take care of. Otherwise, one caregiver should be there, no?
Yes.
Palliative care team can visit her at least twice a week if it is possible. We can arrange weekly home visits also. Okay, if it is possible, we can arrange weekly home visits. But this is that this patient is need more care. So how will we manage? Any other idea? So we can take a volunteers. Okay, so if there is a volunteers are available nearby, so we can encourage the volunteers for the caring of this type of patients. Okay, and you can seek help from the NGOs, non-government organizations support. So I think that will be good. Do you have any volunteers nearby, Sister Sanuba?
No, sister. There is no
No volunteers.
volunteers available.
Do you have
Yes.
a NGO, palliative care NGOs nearby?
Only the representative was me from the NGO,
Oh, okay.
from the palliative care. Yes. Okay, we did our best. We
What-
did. I
what-
did teaching her exercises and all that.
Okay. What about
Compression,
the
stopping,
neighbors?
elevation. Neighbors, no. She had one sister on and off will come and see her, but she don't participate in her care actually. But she just see what's her maid doing and overall look only until the daughters came back.
Okay. If
Okay.
possible, arrange a family meeting, maybe relatives or neighbors. If the
Yeah.
families that relatives are there, you can arrange a family meetings and listen their problems first. Why they are reluctant to take care of this patient. You have to identify the problems, and then based on the problem, we need to help her. I think that is the first and most thing we need to do for this patient. In the absence of the daughters are staying outside. One is Singapore and another one is Australia, I think. I think
Yes.
that time you can arrange a family meeting with the nearest family members. Otherwise, take maybe talk to the neighbors. If maybe neighbors are willing to help this type of patients, we can educate them and encourage them to do the management part.
Okay, sister.
Okay.
Okay.
So I think we can move on to the second question. How can we alleviate this patient anxiousness and distress? How can we alleviate the anxious and anxiety and distress? One question to the participants. Is this patient is the suitable candidate for lymphedema management? Anybody? Can you hear me?
Yes.
So is this patient is the suitable candidate for lymphedema management? Are you able to do the lymphedema management for this patient?
Initially, when I'm doing the home visits, yes, I did encourage her to do range of motion exercises for both legs, compression stockings, and elevation of the both leg on resting. And then when lymphoria came, as the condition getting worse, and then dressing done with the normal saline, and then I applied the dry gauzes and Gamgee, wrapped the both legs, and when the daughters came, they brought her to the orthopedic. Then the orthopedic started her on fusidin cream and all that. Also, we do the compression bandage also, both legs. And in between, they went to the hospital for the private hospital. And then there also the almost same management. And until her end of life, when I see 2 days before she RIP, she both leg was nicely bandaged, and I saw a worse scenario lah, from very mild edema. It became, even despite of all this management, it became way worse, and then patient passed away with these kind of complications. That's why I presented this case as a lymphedema.
Okay. Okay, Sister Sanubar, I think this patient is having pleural effusion and cardiac edema also. So,
Oh, yes, yes.
if the patient is having cardiac abnormalities and the pleural effusion like that situation, better you should not do the massaging. Okay, if
Oh,
you do the
I didn't do the massaging.
yes, yeah, no, I am discussing. So, just I'm telling if the patient is having any abnormalities, any cardiac abnormalities or respiratory problems are there, so better you should not do the massaging. If you do the massaging, what happened is that massage can cause increase the flow of fluid. So again, overload. Again, the patients can cause developing breathing difficulty and other complication too. Okay, so that time, if the patient is having lower leg edema is there, you can do one thing, limb elevation. So you have to elevate the limb, and you can, if there is a lymphoria there, you can, as you do earlier, you can clean with normal saline and apply Gamgee pad or the dressing pad over that area and apply crepe bandage for the same. That time the excess fluid will come out. When we take care of lymphoria management, there is a chance of developing development of ulceration also. Okay, so you can take care of frequent changing of position is also necessary for this type of patient. So if need, you can give one course of antibiotics for that prevention of that for relieving the infection. Otherwise, just do a crepe that clean with normal saline and apply crepe bandage. So the relieving, how we will relieve the anxiety and distress is we can listen their problems. Okay, if the patient is having lot of problems, and the next thing is that patient's day by day her condition is worsening, and her the limbs, the lower limbs is the size is increasing, lot of fluid oozing out of fluid from that side. Again the patient will be in anxious, what happened to me, what is happening, like that. So each and every condition you should explain to the patient what happened, what is happening day by day. Each day you have to tell the caregivers. That is why we develop a contact between the patient, we develop a relationship between the patient and nurse, and just talk to them freely. Don't So if you talk to them freely, if you listen freely, if you listen their anxiety, that will help to more comfortable. That will help to more relaxation also. If they are able to share their suffering, somebody is listen here. Somebody is there to listen their problems. They will after that they will get the relief out of that emotional that relief. And after they if they express the emotional problems, anyway you will give a psychological support or emotional support for that time. That will be more helpful for that type of patients. And anyway when the if the patient's daughters are there, you can talk to the daughters and give more attention to the patients, and give us that way some to spend more time with the patients as much as possible. This is the end of life care patients. If time is available, they can spend with her mother. That is the only way will relieve the anxiety for this type of condition, this that end of life care situation.
Okay, sister.
Any other
Okay,
questions?
sister.
I think we can stop it here. We learned lymphedema management today. I hope all of you got an idea about the lymphedema management. We will share the video later along with the presentation. Thank you, Sridevi, for the management part, for demonstrating the management part. Thank you, Sister Sanubar, for the suitable case for the presentation. Thank you all for